Hi everyone. Guess I can't get rid of the glare in my glasses. Hi Sue. Yeah, I was really late getting the link out. I'm trying to get my computer set up here so that light, if I turn my light off, it's too dark in here. But now it shines on one side of my head. Makes me look like I don't have any hair, so. The email you sent, I just don't like that. Hello, I'm still playing with this lighting. I don't know if you heard me say that. No matter what I do, I can't seem to get the glare off my glasses. I guess I'm just going to have to leave it. Maybe there it's in a better spot at least. My eyes show a little. The email you sent, it's funny because one of the reasons I didn't use the 72% this afternoon was because really I should have mentioned that, you know, that's the angle we were using. But I know in order, you sure started something. You've been sorting, oh, star patterns. Oh, did she? I've probably seen some of hers, but I don't know exactly where they are right now. I'm going to try turning this. Now that I've got my big light on, I'm going to try turning. I guess it doesn't make much difference. This works. Because I know that a lot of people don't have a protractor. And if you do, they're usually, unless you have a small one, they make big 8-inch circles. And I thought that it's not the way I would go, probably because I want a smaller workspace on my paper. So I didn't mention it, but we're actually using it tonight if I can make my polar grid work. Oh, nice. You've got 2 of them. Great. I don't. I have a mess. Actually, most of them I can find them, but I've only got them in one place, so. And I don't have many of them that I ever downloaded. Yes, yes. I've definitely been using that's what we're using tonight, is the rotation tool and putting in the degrees. So my only problem is I wanted to show you show the way I set up the grids for the new ones I made, and I can't make the polar grid work. So I may be working without that. 20 years of wow. You know, I was kind of out of tatting for a while, and then back in, and so I just didn't save a lot of patterns during that time. Hi, Pasha. Glad you're here again. My computer is still acting up. I've restarted my Inkscape 3 times, and every time I go to make I just wanted to make the polar grid with the 5 points. Hi, Katia. Oh, that's probably it, Sue. Maybe. Every time I go to the render and grids, I get 3 choices, and polar grid's usually the bottom choice, and I don't know if it's because I don't have enough memory on my C drive, which I get reminded of all the time. I'm going to be so glad to get that all reallocated. And I think I have a thumb drive big enough to back up my computer. I really appreciate, Sue, that you thought to ask about that and find out about it. You've always been such a help in the classes. Oh, it is a couple minutes after 6 now, isn't it? Well, 6 o'clock my time. We'll wait a couple more minutes for all the people that seem to come in a bit late to this class. It's probably a hard time of night for people, I know. It's different times, so. Yes, I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to resplit my drives. Once I get it saved off onto a thumb drive, I get everything. I'm going to 1 a.m. there. Oh my gosh. 2 external drive. One is just for tatting. I actually have 2 external drives, and one of them might have room on it. My first one got totally full, because I've had it for probably 20 years. And then I got another one, so I'll have to see what that's got on it. And I should keep one just for tatting. I have years worth of photos on the first one. So, but the other thing is, one of the things I wanted to show you quick tonight, I have so many paths on it that I think maybe that's taking up some of the power, just having those they're all on the layers palette. And if I delete that document, or at least don't have it open, I'm hoping maybe it'll work better and I'll get my polar grids. Yeah, back when I was going through a multimedia program, one of the classes I took was building a computer, and not only all the pieces and parts. Oh, you back it up to it once a week. Wow. And we had to reassemble the computer. And the other thing we had to do, we learned all about our BIOS system and everything. We were divided into teams of 4, and we had to find what was wrong in the system files to figure out what needed to be changed to actually make the computer work, because the instructor had put an error in there. And there were 4 of us. It took us quite a while, but we were one of the first groups to find it. I shouldn't brag, but I found it. Oh, his 3rd computer. Wow. I built my first one that was big enough to hold graphics on it. I built it once a year at the big convention center downtown in Denver. They have a show, and it's just filled with vendors selling all the parts you need for a computer. So I went around, got all my parts, my motherboard and everything, and then went home and set it up. Now I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't remember enough. Oh, wow, pretty lights. This one I just bought it's got a good size RAM on it, but it doesn't look like we're getting anyone else yet. This one I just bought from HP. I did do the custom one where I was able to pick like what hard drive I wanted in it, and I think the video card and something else. But they put it all together and sent it. That's wonderful that you have that, Sue. My husband never even had a computer. He just didn't care about it. Well, it's, how many days we got 3 people here or 2? No, we've got 3. Now let's go ahead and get started then and see what I can make work. I'm going to pull up my Inkscape and then go to my screen. This is what I'm thinking might be a problem. Everything that I have, I took off everything else, but I wanted you to see my worksheet that I was working on. Just all these things. I took them off the document and pasted them on here. This is the kind of thing, if this is what you've done, it's kind of just a mishmash, that counts as homework. So send it in so we can see where you are. This was a grid that came from another time, but you can see all my triangles and my diamond and everything. And then I thought, well, this is my star with the indented, the chains facing the center. And then this, I thought it looked like a bell. It's got a couple things on there that aren't actually attached, but I thought it's almost like a holly leaf coming out of a bell, or looks like, oh, the Tin Man's hat from The Wizard of Oz. I don't know, it just was funny, and I thought I'd show it to you. But this is the kind of thing when I'm trying to learn something new that I play with. So I am going to close this file. There's no way I can delete all these. I can, there's even more if I open up my polar grid, which it's only got one on there, and I don't think these came from that one. And this is long. So I'm going to close this out now and just start with a new page. I think I have one up here. No, I don't have a new one. This is something I'm going to just tell you about. This is a process that I've been learning on making mandalas, and I've been trying to see if I can utilize it for tatting patterns, and I haven't quite figured out if it'll work, and I hope to show you a little bit of that too. Now if I go to, oh, I wanted a new file. And I'm going to actually minimize that one so it's out of the way. All right, we are going to, let me just see if I can get a polar grid first. Under grids. I only have 3 choices. Polar grid should be right down there, and it's not there. So I hope everything else is working. Have either of you worked with, when we send homework to you, do you want the SVG file or a screenshot? You can send me the I can't even talk tonight. SVG file. That's fine. Probably when we get to the point when we're going to put things up, hi Deborah. When I get to the point that I'm going to be putting them up, or Tammy's going to be putting them up, the first thing I have to know when you send in your homework is let me know if you only want me to look at it or if it can be posted. Some people I know when I used to teach it would prefer not to have anything of theirs posted in any form until they have published and sold the pattern, which probably isn't a problem if you're not making something to sell, a pattern to sell. But just let me know. You could just put down, please post, and then I'm not even sure that we know where the homework's going to go for sure. That'll be decided during the break, I think. You're still at research last month. Oh, a knitting commitment, been clearing that up. Oh, wonderful, Sue. Well, if I'm working on a how-to sheet for the second thing I'm going to show you, and I know it's something that everybody's going to want to play with. I have it written up by hand, but it's on a really messy sheet. I'll have to show it to you later, and I'm going to have to decipher it and type up a how-to for it. You also could go and watch the video that I've been watching. I'll at least show you where it is. Let's see if I can. I have a polar grid that I think I'll use. I can't make the polar grid work, so let me pull up a different document that I know has a polar grid on it. Whoops, we should have left something up there. I think it's this one. Oh, it's got the same pieces on it. But this is I'm going to copy one of these and then paste it in. I should have left the new one open. I'm sorry, it's a little messy tonight. I'm going to copy that. Then I won't have to keep that one open. There we go. I've got the polar grids to use, so that'll work good. I'm going to close that one down. I have a polar grid on here. The day I did that, it worked. Maybe I'll check one more time now. Nope. I don't know what's happened. All right, so I have a polar grid here, a couple of them. What I'm going to do, I think, is just one of the things I've learned, and I can't remember if I mentioned it to you last week, I might have, is I think I mentioned if you want to select something rather than trying to get one thing and having the other ones hooked in and things like that, you can just, when you've got your selector, you can just hold the Alt key, whoops, I didn't get it, and draw a line. I can delete those. I don't need all this stuff around. So here I have the polar grid. And we're going to work with the star tool, Polygon tool. I have to get back and get my chat in place so I can see it. I don't know if any of you answered about using a polygon or a star tool before. The one thing they have, which is a little different than maybe Illustrator and all, is stars and polygons here. If you click on it, you have to go up here and you can choose either a polygon, which you'd use to make a triangle, or the star. And for the star, we want 5 corners. So it's all set for that. So all I have to do, I could drag any. Usually I didn't hold the shift or anything key down, so I'm surprised it didn't reshape on me. This is the star you start with. If I'm going to hold the control key so it keeps its proportions. And I'm going to get rid of the fill. But I have no stroke. We have a lot of keys that I haven't been using. I've talked about the cut, copy, and paste, and copy and duplicate on top of another. But I'm really starting to use the a lot more shortcuts. One of them I find that I think would be helpful for teaching and make it faster is if I start using more control keys. And the one I use a lot is the zoom key. And you can go down on the right and there's that little one where you can center something on the page and zoom in. But the second thing you can do is all you have to do when you're in the selector is hit the Z. That's it, just the one key, Z for zoom, and you're zoomed in. Well, you're not zoomed in, but you can, like if I zoom in on this, you can zoom in on whatever you'd like to. I'm going to go back out. Another one is your layers palette. I'm going to have to resize my window and make it smaller here. Get it fit on the screen so I can see everything. To get the layers palette, I don't even have to use the palettes over here. This space, all I have to do is hold Shift and Control at the same time, and you can even, I kind of put the end of my finger on the Shift and roll down my finger to hold the Control at the same time. L for layers. Oh, this one's got lots too. Another one, Shift and Control. T for text. And I've been storing them just right, keeping them right down here. And then the other one is the fill and stroke, because so often when you're doing this, you need to keep track of your stroke. And it's fill and stroke for the layer name, so it's just hold Control and Shift and hit F. That's a real quick way to get your palettes up. And this is the one I needed because apparently my, did I delete my star even? All right, I'm going to make a new star. My star's there. I'm going to go to Stroke Paint, and there we go. And I started, because the polar grid is set up, its measurements are in millimeters. So I decided, because I want to keep track of the width of everything when I use the polar grid and then this, I'm going to start using 265. I like the size of it, and that's millimeters. And I didn't get my star, did I? Oh, no, I got an oval. Let me see if I can delete that. Get my star tool again. I've got 5 corners. See, my computer is just not working. Let me try a new one. I'm going to totally close this one. Close without saving. I think I only have one document open now in Inkscape. No, I have 2. I'm going to even close that one for now. Let's see if that helps. Let's see if my star tool will work now. At least it shows a star. I got a big star. Where'd that fill and stroke go? Oh. 265. I got a star this time. All right. Oh my gosh. And one of the things when you're leveling, you can always bring a ruler guide down, but now where'd it go? I got it back again. But with something like anything you've got a box around, oops, you know what? I didn't hold my control key down, so it's out of, well, it looks like it stayed pretty good. The proportion, if you hold, you keep the same proportions if you hold the control key down. I'm going to make it smaller here. So here we have our star, a very big star. Okay, if I just double click on it, I can rotate it. I think I have to rotate this corner down and get my 2 bottom points even. So now it's straight across. Notice the shape of this star. so often we're used to like hand making them with a straight across, and that's what I was drawing on the grid. But this actually is the right star shape if we're tatting it, even though it gives the illusion of not being a star with a straight across. Because what happens sometimes when you get this, if you haven't done a star using a pentagon, you may get one that has, it's straight here, but if it's straight there, these two are skinnier. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the way it is. So I have my star, and we can object to path, oops, path, object to path, you know, so we have nodes. And so if you wanted to make a wonky star, one of the things that I've seen people do is, and I think Harola did one, where it almost looks like it's off to the, it's kind of like dancing. So you can do that if you want, and this reminds me exactly of the snowflake, the orange snowflake that has the this type of an end on it. Maybe we ought to look at that again. Let's see if I can get Pinterest up here. Good, I don't have to sign in this time or whatever that was telling me to do. Oh, it's not in stars, it's in the snowflakes. This one right here, Wanda's Naughty Tatting. Doesn't that look just like her? What she has on the outside of her snowflake? And that's what makes something unique. Makes it your own, makes it original. It's not like anybody else's. Now you see a lot of centers like this, but those are common centers. The specific way they're put together, like the number of stitches might make a difference in the side negative spaces and all, but still this is a common, looks like a, I don't know if it's a, I don't want to enlarge it. Oh, there we go. I guess I can't tell if it's, oh, it looks like inward facing rings and outward facing chains. So that's an enclosed center, very common. But this is what makes it so unique, and all I did is just grab that node and it looks just like it. And she tatted rings all the way up here, and then just a straight long chain down here. So that goes along with what we were talking about in class this afternoon about going from point to point. You really almost have to tat up and back down so that you're ready to do the next point. And I've seen some stars where the arms are changed or the legs. So to make that can make a really unique snowflake too. And it's easy to do. I'm going to undo that. No, don't give me that. Yep, I crashed. That's what happens. It doesn't like if I make any clicks that too fast or something. This is an interesting thing. I don't think when we started our Inkscape before, we had this the first time, you can have it come up or you don't have to have it come up. But what's nice is this time to draw, that lists all your recent files. So I was working on one of these. I don't know, one or two, probably the top one. Otherwise, do it the regular way of file and recent folders and files. This is not the one I was working on, but I'm going to work on it anyway. I'm just going to back way out and make a new page. I've got that I'll work on. Oh, shoot. Go back and get my selector tool. Oh dear, I am not in good shape tonight. Oh no. Oops, I guess I'm going to have to take those off by hand. And basically, what I was going to show you on this tonight was just the sections that it can be divided up into. I'm just losing my total, where am I? My train of thought tonight. I just want to zoom in a little. I want to get my star tool and draw another one. My fill and stroke. Take off my fill. Oops. I'm sorry, I'm redoing this. 254 now. I'll take it. I like this better. This is even lighter. It'd be easier to draw over with it this light. To make a triangle, we're going to make a triangle to fit up here. I'm going to click again on the Polygon and star tool. I'm going to click on Polygon this time, and I'm going to make 3 corners. And now I have, I can just, I'm going to hold down the Control key to get it to be equilateral. It doesn't like anything I do tonight. I know it's memory. Anyway, let's see if that fits. Maybe if I... It almost fits. Oh, not far. Okay, this is the thing that I mentioned once, the snapping. See how it's snapping by increments? I can't put it exactly where I want to because I have snapping on. So I'm gonna, it's on my dark screen, it's very hard to tell. It's dark gray when it's off, and I can just see the difference. It's a bright black, if black can be bright. Now I know it's on. Okay, it's off. So now when I try and move, I can rotate it myself. And I wanted to show you, it's still not quite the right size, how you can rotate it to get your next triangle if you don't have something behind. This is the way if you want to start with a certain point size, And I'm going to start, this is big, since it's not a star anymore, I'm going to get rid of it. Because I can make a star out of this. I'm going to rotate it so the triangle's up. There, get it right on the line. We're going to rotate this now. We're going to copy it and rotate the copy. And we're going to need our transformation palette. Wait, oops, it's not under File, it's under Edit. Way down at the bottom is, oh, my templates aren't, or my, I'm going to tell you this. Hold your Shift and Control key down and hit T. Oh no. Transform. I know what it is. It's and I know that it's in the I can see all the way down. It's like I'm losing part of my stuff. Oh, I do want to show you something on view. Can you see my inch marks up here? They don't represent right now a true inch on a ruler. If I want them to, I can go to View, Zoom, and I can pick Zoom to 1-to-1 ratio. Did you see? Now, if I measured this with a ruler on screen, it's the same size as a ruler. It's the right size. So that can help you when you're deciding how big you want your snowflake to be. And I'm going to, did I lose my triangle too? This is crazy. But hopefully we can get through just a few things here. Draw my triangle again. And I can actually rotate it as I've got it, as I'm dragging it. Okay. I think to me, if it's a 1-to-1 ratio, like this would be the right size to make a kind of a big star, I think, probably. Rotate that down just a bit. Okay, I want it good and even for the rotating. So what we're going to do, I still got to get that transform menu up. I thought it was, oh, I know, it's Shift Control. It's a different keyboard stroke. I've got to get that menu up. Why is it not showing up? You see transform? I know it's close to the bottom. I don't see it there, and it's not, definitely not on there. I wonder it's on the, maybe it's on object. Oh, it's on object. Okay. Fill and stroke has the F, so this is Shift Control M for the last letter. All right. I've got my transform up here. And we want to rotate it. And when you have a 5-pointed object, to rotate it around the center, you rotate it 32 inches. Like if you have a protractor, every 72 inches is where you'd put a dot all the way around a circle, and then you could draw your lines. So I'm going to put 72 in here. Now I'm going to copy, and I'm going to duplicate it so it's in the same spot, and I'm going to say apply. My copy and paste isn't working either. I did get a second one. I wonder if I need to just have it selected with the regular selection. I am moving by tiny. I must have put the number in wrong. Maybe I need to put actually 72 in, I think. No, let me back out of this a minute. Let me just. I know, 72. And I've got its degrees, angle 72. Right, Sue? As you told me, it's 72 degrees. And that's what I was using yesterday. I was using 72 degrees. There we go. Why it didn't work last time, I don't know. And so if you just start putting the corners together, I'm going to, yeah, that rotate because I didn't paste it. Here we go again. I'm going to hit Z to get my control key, or my zoom back. And I'm going to put it back where it was. And this time I'm going to copy it, duplicate it, and rotate it. Now see, if you know the size of points you want, then you're automatically going to get your center area to work in and have your star. That's facing the wrong direction. So, you know, we usually up at the top here have the mirror image, rotate to the right or left. It's also right here on this menu. Oh no, I'm looking at it. It is down. That is, it's an optical illusion. I was looking at this pointing in. This is pointing out like it's supposed to. All right, just do another one. Duplicate, rotate it, and put it there. One more time. Went to my star key. I don't know why. And put this one up into place. Now it doesn't look like they're quite fitting together. And probably the reason would be because, let's see, these two fit. This one fits. I wonder if, oh, this one isn't quite in place. I've still got one overlapping corner. And I don't want to change it because then it wouldn't match the others. However, if you're tatting your shape, if you start with if you're going to do the individual triangles, then you have two that are right here. So you could start drawing and get this one. For a star, you'd want to draw two of them if you want to try and make them continuous, because you would want to have some kind of maybe a connection here. Another thing you could do is if I make a pentagon, right now it's just a pentagon that's bounded by, oh, I see, this is at an angle. Can you see right there where it's not quite, there's my little blue dashed line and it's a little tilted. If I want to move just this corner down because this corner is in position, at least, maybe my bounding, I bet it's just because I started the first one not even. It might have been better to, instead of eyeballing it, to do this with my, line it up with a ruler guide. And when you think about your path too, if you end down here and you start up again, something's got to be connected to the inside. So whatever the inside, whether it's a circle, let's just draw a circle in here. I pushed S to get my selector. The only time you can't use just a keyboard key to go from one tool or another is when you use your text tool. If I have my text tool, I can push Z and it does go. Oh, I tried it yesterday and my, let me get the, I forgot what the text tool keyboard, oh, I think it's a T. If I've put in some text, let's see if it'll go to the selector. Oh, it does. It is. That had to have been one of the glitches yesterday I was having. If you're working in a circular going from the inside out, you would be wanting to stop, even if you have this up flush for a join here. Not quite big enough. Let me see, I'll pull this opposite corner to finish getting it. You have this area right in here. So if this is your last row, like you could put a clover here with the middle one longer, and you could attach to like a center picot. You could also, depending upon how wide it is when you come down, maybe make a picot there. And now if you're a little bit smaller, let me just move that down a little, you could put picots in here so that you can join. The only thing is you have to make them where you know that your first, say you're working and putting a clover here, you have to know where that would join, whatever piece you have in here. So you have to think about your joins, you know, and it might be just a smaller pentagon that you have to finish. And then you could work right up to the edge. I can't even move my thing today. And work that. The other thing, like we talked about this afternoon, if I copy this one, no, I can't flip that one. It's hard to figure out where the center point is on a pentagon. Let me think what I did to. I think I had a real pentagon in the center there. Let's do that. Make a corners 5 now. Pull that out and get my selector tool. Not bad. Oh, it's crazy tonight. Anyway, say you had this far in on all, well, if you're gonna this far in on all sides, then you still have to, you do this row and figure out where you want that to hit, and you work up and down in your triangle and figure out, draw it so you can figure out where the attachments have to be for the picots. So you have to take that into consideration. And then I was going to show you if you can, I think when if I select this, So you can't draw lines and get the center. I don't know how I figured the center. I think I kind of I'm just going to make a smaller one. I think what I'm going to do, I know I wanted an equilateral triangle, so I'm going to copy this, make a duplicate, and flip it upside down. Now this is going to be too big because it's going to be a smaller. You want it the same width, but it can't be this length because they don't come in evenly. If I would probably just give myself, especially if you're drawing it, or here, since I can't remember, I'm doing terrible at it, make it shorter. Oh, that's a little off center too. What I should have done is put a ruler mark at the tip up here, and then I know that this has to it should be over here. And I'm going to have to show you this again. Oh, there it does pretty much hit the center. It's a little off because my angles were off to start with. But then this is your diamond, except you have to make sure that it's in the right place so that all your diamonds are, I know what I did. I didn't actually make a triangle. I decided just to eyeball it, and I took my pen tool and I kind of guessed where this, I went and kind of guessed where the center was for the height where they'd go. And I did that, and then did this. And then I just rotated this to see if it was the same. Or you can draw a continuous line. Let's take one here, click there, and just pick an in-between. And you can see they're kind of similar, but then the other one's not going to fit. So I'm going to have to, I think I made one and rotated. I'm sorry, I'm just having a horrible time tonight. So that's how, and I'll get some instructions written down so that the fastest and easiest way. Oh, there's the other thing I did with a circle. You have to have your 5 points to know how wide. If you have a circle too, you can, what you can do, let me try this. I think this is going to work if I have a circle. I mean, it would be easy if you've got it, if you're working on a 5-point grid. Okay, I've got that centered. If I go here, again, like we did this afternoon, oops, I've covered off get my page center back. That's off of my desktop. That's not my page center. My page center is way down here. Everything tonight with the glitches, it's just driving me crazy. It was last night too, and I was hoping when I opened it up this morning it'd all be working well. What am I thinking? I guess if I use lines, I'd have, I'm going to leave this for today. You have the idea of it. you can just print out this whole, just print out the star itself without, just make a whole star. It wouldn't even have these lines because this one I built out of triangles. Just make your star outline. I would print it out and hand draw in, because on this kind of a shape you're going to want to be fitting and erasing to get it right. Oh, I've got my pentagon in the center here, don't I? I've got my pentagon. It's still not going to give me the center. I used a rotation point, and I'm not quite sure how I did it. I'm going to have to do it again. Let me show you something really fun, though, that I don't know. We'll see if it works. Oh, I know. I'm going to have to open up my mandala file. See if I can find it down here. There it is. That it? Let's see. Nope, I'm going to close that one. I'm going to have to find it in my actual files. Open. And find my... There, oh, that's medallion centers. That's not what I want. Let's look in the files here. Mandala live paths, that's what I want. And I'm going to close this. Oops. Close that one. I don't need to save that. This was what I played with. But the thing to notice is that all these lines are not connecting. That happens when you use the technique. I'm just gonna, oh, it's almost 7. But once you get done, it's not even picking out my nodes. Let's see if I widen that. See how they're all widening at the same time? Let me delete it. Whoops, I didn't mean to delete that. Now I've got something different because I deleted it. I got a different shape in the middle. This is where I was trying to make the rings and chains and everything fit together, because this is a mirroring technique that I haven't figured out the way to use it to make all of our tatting, but you could print this out and go from here. I think I can take one of these. Yeah, that's not working. I'm going to show you how we do it, or how you can do it. And remove this totally off, just so you get an idea. And I'm going to tell you the video to go. Oh, look at that. I changed it. Can you see how this could make mandalas? And I think if you come up with the right one, you could make a tatting pattern. Maybe not even anything that you had planned on making. The other thing I can do on this is, if I'm going to show you the right and get my layers panel up here. See, this doesn't have so many because all I've done is this. But every time you have a row here that I've made, it is on an individual path. This is the new part of Inkscape that they didn't have before. And they also had a separate layers and a separate objects panel. Now they've combined them, and here's my only layer I've been working on, one layer. click down here. Now this is a folder name, so whatever I do there, it takes everything off because it's the whole folder. But if we open up the folder then, each path, I'll put this one back on. If I take this next one off, you can edit each row. You just have to be on the right one. Let me grab one that I want to. No, I don't want to do a ring one. Let me see this one down here. I'd like to get this one, and I'm not. That's a good one. All it's got on it is this chain scallop. Okay, I want to keep this highlighted. Then I'm going to zoom way in. Get my node tool. Now say I wanted this chain to connect to this shape over here. All we can work with is the left side and the upper quadrant. And that's what I have here. I connect it. I could even pull it down some. No, I can't because it's, I could. Let me, you can't see the quadrants right now, but let me pull out a thing. Whoops. Here. This is the very center. All I did is design this right here, and it's been duplicated. So okay, we can take a few more minutes, I think, because this is just fun to play with and see what designs you get. Oops, I moved a row. I moved it, and I think so. I must be on it. So now I could probably. Oh, here it is. I've actually. I could actually then, whichever, when you click on a row, whichever one, see this one's got the nodes over here, I've moved these things around. Whichever one lights up, that's your original one that you can change. See, I could even bring those two together. So like up here, was it this one? Yeah. I could bring this to the center and kind of even make a ring out of it, and it changes them all. It still has a little bit of a peak on it, but I could work with that. And I'm going to quickly now I'll show you. Let me get this one out of the way. Oops, there we go. Do you know what? That's another thing. If I want to move them all together, I have to select the folder, the folder group. Now I think I can move them all. There we go. You have to have the folder selected to move them all. Let me show you this path effect. I'm going to go to Path. Let's see. Path effects right here. It's the third from the bottom. Hello menu, where are you? Maybe it's not going to come up. Oh, I know, it is up. It's underneath this. The path effects always comes up in the window, replacing whatever's there. Now we have nothing here. What we're going to draw is in only this upper left quadrant. And I'm just going to show you some quick lines. I would actually make a ring over. Oh, this is going to be a downward facing ring, and it's not going to be shaped exactly right to meet up. What I would do is get my circle, make a circle, or make an oval, change that to a path, click on my bottom one, double click up here. Now, to use this to come out with a whole one, I'm going to pull this down so we can see what happens with this one compared to the other one. And here's where you'd want your snapping on too. I'm going to turn my snapping on, and this little delta triangle, if we click on that, we get an enable snapping menu. And I want to click down here on advanced. We can eliminate bounding boxes so they don't show. But what we really need for this technique is other points. These two come up unchecked. But for this technique, we want object midpoints and object rotation centers. So those are on, so I'm done there. Just click the delta again to get rid of it. I'm going to bring this over, put it right on the line. It snapped right to it with a snapping on. I'm going to take and break this apart in half. So now that it's selected, I'm going to go to Path, and I turned it into a path. Break apart right here. I have to do it a second time. I had to do it. I can see it's not breaking apart. I should be able to, if my computer was working right, you would see a bounding box here and a bounding box on this side. I could pull this side and it'd pull away the whole right side. So I'd have a half one, because everything here, when it's mirrored, the first thing it does is mirror onto this side. And I moved this too. I'm going to make it up. It's got to be on this left side, so I'm going to put it up like that. Now I'm just going to make some straight lines, have some fun. All I need are, oops, I double click and it doesn't even finish my line. Okay, one more. I'll make a funny shape. Doesn't really matter as long as it just meets. Hook those together. Now let's see if my path will open. Oh, you know why? I know why it's not opening. I have to have, whoops. I have to have all but the center totally selected. And I have to group it. So whatever you're reflecting has to be grouped. Oops, path. I don't want to break apart. I want path effects. I'm still not getting that menu. It's a big menu that opens up, fills the whole screen and opens up. Oh, I need to start a new. This is, I mentioned that this is empty, the path effects. We have to open the initial path effects box. You click on this plus sign right down there. Here it is. You can do all kinds of manipulations here. I got a star that looked like it was running using the envelope deformation. But what we're going to use right now is mirror symmetry. It's this star with the dotted lines. And there we have a mirrored image. Now it's going to run into this one, I bet, if I... Once you have, this is the rotate copies. It's under my mirror symmetry. They both came up at the same time. Why the mirror symmetry didn't come up to begin with, I don't know. But this is what I was supposed to get. And if you want to switch to a different effect, now you can just click this and it'll pop a different one up. So rotate copies. I want, for tatting, I decided to go with 6 copies. I wonder if I go with 5. Let's try 5 and see what happens. Starting angle is 0. That's where we're at. Rotate angle. It seems like this is where I put in the 72. Hopefully this is, I might get a zillion up there. Where is my apply? Distribute evenly. Oh, I know why. I want to, we don't want the center to rotate. It would just put copies on top of itself. Now my mirror symmetry is all right. I'm going to go down here. We're going to use this rotate copies. I was going to put 5 in there. Rotation angle, I've got 60. I'm going to make it 75. That's if we were using 60. I'm going to use 75. Well, I think we're going to have 60-degree angles. Now, the circle would be the rotation center would be right in here, but we don't need to use that. We are going to select all of these as a group. I'm going to hold shift and get rid of the circle. Now I'm going to open the rotation. I keep forgetting everything. I've only done this one time before. Where did, oh. Only one item can be selected. Oh. Maybe I'm all set then. If I click on rotate, if I double click on it, okay, my rotation center, I have to pull it down right here. Now I'm going to back out so you can see what this does. I'm going to start where'd the rotation center go? I should be able to see this. I've got to get these techniques down. Let me get the layers palette back up. Layers. You've got the steps, except for, what if I need to pull this out even farther? It should create the rotation all around. I'm going to type this up, and before, and soon I'm going to type it up so you can play with this over the summer. I'm going to show you where you can watch this video for yourself. Go to YouTube. I don't have my link ready. Inkscape tutorials. This guy, TJ Free, is pretty good. This is the one I like best. It's called Iron Echo Designs. And look at all the things he shows you to do on here. There's the mandala.
I'm Rick Johansson, and this is Iron Echo Design. Inkscape 1.2 is here, new and improved, and along with the enhancements to the interface, there were some changes that really sped up the workflow on previous tutorials we've done. Today, I want to revisit the mandala design, and I'll just click on that. This is your document prop ellipsis tool right here.
There's the quadrants.
1/2 slice of the mandala lines. I have a white 2, 12, 8 or 12. Let's do 12.
Similar to mine.
Now we want to take this whole thing and bring it to the center point. So you have to go to Edit Paths by Node, and you'll see a little diamond in the center. Drag that down, and it's going to lock into that center line. Right there. This is what you want it to look like. It doesn't have to be exact, but you want everything to be radiating from the center here. Because now, since we did that, I'll zoom in.
That's what mine should have looked like. And it was the no, it was in the edit that he showed. I'm still not finding it, but watch his video. You've got an idea now of how it happens, so you'll know what to watch for, the steps, and have fun and play with it. And I will see you the second week of January. Have a good vacation. Bye-bye, everybody.